comment from Marielle that I was in everybody's face. I was in Brent's face, and then I went to you. That's not everybody.
It is a double standard.
Okay. Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is, baby. Listen, are you mad? Are you mad? Are you lean? Don't get it twisted, baby. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and click on that click on that bell notification, okay, to get uploads and when we're going to be dropping a new video. For those who are returnees, shoot the minerals, baby. Listen, you ain't got the minerals, baby. You ain't got the minerals. Listen, we're going to be talking to you guys about Ready to Love. We're going to talk to you about our favourite couple, London and Devyne. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video so far. Just to kind of start to kick up the storm. Yes, I did have a conversation with London. We actually had an Instagram call where we saw each other face to face. Great guy. I think the whole cast is great, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I understand it's a TV show, and I understand that TV can make you look a certain way. I've been on TV and I know how people can cut certain things and can create a story that may not necessarily tell your whole tale. But that is unfortunately what we sign up for when we go on to TV. Now, in regards to what we spoke about, can't really talk about it too tough, just because I want him to explain, because then it's up to him as what he discloses onto you guys. But just to say that obviously, yes, there are things that may look a certain way. As he put it, it may not look that particular way. But we are going to deal with this as if I never spoke to him, because as far as I'm concerned, if you don't come out and explain your situation, I cannot use that information. And that's the way I've got to do it. I cannot allow something to influence me when I'm not able to use that as a source as to what I'm seeing. Okay? So, what I'm just gonna focus on is just what happened at the reunion and go on from there. So, I think the main thing for me really was just kind of seeing obviously, again, the body language and seeing how people behave and how they reacted. And there was a lot of things that were going on. I think the main point, or the main focus that I saw that I wanted to focus on was the fact that it seems like Devyne and London are hitting it off, which I said they should. You know, it seems like they're hitting it off, and it seems like they are beginning to progress. And the one thing I would say is that, one thing I would, to even show that was when London started talking about, you know, he moved into a new house.
That a man always looks for. She's been, phenomenal. Through everything. I just recently bought a house. I had to move. So I appreciate you. I really do.
Since the journey has ended.
We are and have been enjoying one another. Everything happened so fast. But I think after
appreciates her and and she actually turned around and he actually had focused his eyes onto her and though he was speaking in third person, or speaking as you would say, he was speaking towards Tommy, he was still directing his eye contact at Devyne and Devyne back at him, which made it a very intimate moment, unlike when you saw Alexis and Brent kind of doing their eye to eye, or Alexis doing eye to Brent. There was a genuine kind of, I guess, affection there that you could see in both of their eyes as they were looking at each other. So that was my kind of main focal point of where I focused on in terms of a starting block. Obviously, there's a big few holes which I think Ready to Love has not dealt with. There are comprehensive lies from somebody, yeah, whether that be London, whether that be from Alexis. I'm sorry, you can't keep this classy when there are huge lies being told. In fact, the Bible says one of the 6 things that God hates, a lying tongue. That is one of the most discrepulous, I don't know if that's even a word in the dictionary, but I've added it to it now. It's one of the most incredulous things that one person can do. But in terms of the situation, in terms of London and Alexis, if London is lying, then he's a cold-hearted liar, as Alexis accused him of. If Alexis is lying, then she is a cold-blooded liar. Because she's actually formulated a plan where she's got involved Tondi, Ashima, Brent, all to confirm her.
Well, I will say this. The night that Alexis and London kissed, was that the night that we came back to my house?
yes.
It was me, Brent, and Darren, and Alexis.
Story which she told them, I'm guessing if she was a liar, to, I guess, make it seem more plausible. And that for me is concerning. Why are we not addressing it? You know, if somebody called me a liar, if somebody, and this is where it even started between myself and London, where I did a video on saying that London was lying. I didn't actually call him a liar, I said he was lying. At a particular point when it was addressing the situation with him and Devyne earlier on in the series, where he couldn't remember whether he said, you know, I'd ride off into the sunset with you, which I said I personally thought was lying. Yeah, and I reiterated that to him. I said to him, look, as far as I'm concerned, the way they've put it, I can't look at any other way apart from you lied, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously tried to make it clear that, you know, that wasn't the case, etc., etc. And I said, all right, cool, I'll take your word on it, but from my point of view, and I'm guessing from a lot of the audience point of view, they feel a certain way in a different way, and that's just because of the way that the thing's been cut. Which then fast forwards back onto the situation now. If London or Alexis lie, one of them is lying, it is a big boy lie. And this can't be kept classy, because it's not classy to be lying like that. Well, actually, it kind of is, actually. It's kind of class system, which what class system actually does. Those in power often do lie to us. So I guess in some shape or form, you could say classy. But I mean, in the sense of the fact that we're trying to find out what actually happened here, we're doing a disservice to both couples if we're not telling the truth. And I feel like without that emphasis, I felt like Tommy could have really drove it home and got involved and actually been like, look, there needs to be a sorting out here. There's a lie here. Who is lying? Do you get me? And press the issue. Because as far as I'm concerned, yeah, regardless of whether you've left the relationship, you're accusing me of lying, bro, in front of the whole world. Now, if you look at my comment section for the last 2 videos, everybody's saying, if not 90% of people are saying, London's a liar. Now, if that's me, and I know this is going out to the press, fam, I am definitely ousting people. I don't care what nobody says, I got oust people. So it would be my best interest for somebody to at least give me a platform to discuss how I truly feel and whether it was a lie or not. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about me per se, I'm talking about Ready to Love. So that was a big thing for me. I felt like big disservice there, you know, obviously there was the kiss between Devyne and Brent, which was kind of swept underneath the carpet as well. And I think it's because, like I said, I think it's because Devyne actually had kind of bowed out at that point, where she had bowed out with London, and actually said she's going to find out what's going on and left. But still, you know, I can see London weren't too happy about that. Do you know what I mean? And that's another thing I wanted to point out, because there was a thing that I didn't actually address at the time, and I think it's just because I felt like I wasn't sure how I was going to tackle it, because I had just done a video on Alexis, and I felt like, I don't want it to be looking like I'm into a witch hunt. But Alexis put up a post, which I got the picture for, when she spoke about Tommy and the fact that Tommy spoke about the fact that the girls, let's keep it class, let's be women or whatever. And she was saying about the fact that, you know, basically what she was saying in a sense was that it almost became, I guess, kind of sexist in the sense of her putting it that, or I guess of Tommy putting it that way. And at the time, I didn't want to address it because I feel like time and seasons, everything, you know what I'm saying? But one thing I would say is that I actually partly agreed with Alexis, and before she even said that, when I watched the video live and I heard him say, let's keep it like women should. I keep saying this, and maybe the ladies will disagree in the comment section, because you really disagree with my Shima one, so that's not a problem. But I see things differently. In a world where you're trying to equalize both sexes and you're trying to deal with gender equality, you can't keep certain benefits of the patriarchy for yourself, and then when it doesn't benefit you, you're complaining. It has to be leveled completely over. So when I talk to people about if we're going to remove patriarchy, you cannot remove patriarchy without removing also the benefits that was coming with patriarchy. So if you're willing to hold on to the benefits, you're not ready for the removal of patriarchy. Like, for instance, when I said about first dates, I said to somebody, you can't have patriarchy, you cannot remove patriarchy and then tell a man to pay for the first date. And a man too like, people, I ask men, why'd you pay? And they don't even know why they're paying. They're just paying because they know the response that it elicits when a man pays for the woman. Do you get me? So when it comes to patriarchy, you cannot remove its components without removing the benefits of its components or the benefactors of the patriarchy. So that's men, but there's also some benefits that women also achieve through this, right? And so sometimes we don't understand that our language is loaded. And what I mean by that is we can say certain things which kind of hint towards something else. So, for instance, when Tommy said, when London said, obviously, look, you know, when I saw the Brent kiss, you know, it still made me feel away. And Tommy said,
You still gonna feel some type of way as a man.
You wouldn't be a man if it didn't.
you know, I mean, you wouldn't be a man if that was the case. And when I heard that, it doesn't sound very big or anything like that. It's not a crazy thing to jump on. I'm not even trying to say Tommy's sexist or anything like that. Not at all. What I'm saying is that some of our language is already preloaded with an idea and a concept. So when you said, you wouldn't be a man if you didn't feel that way. Why would you not be a man? You wouldn't be a human in totality. Because why I'm saying that is because there's a concept and an idea that men who are men and their property, men and their woman, men and their ego and their pride, how they feel when the woman does something that speaks against their ego and their pride. Well, women also have ego and prides. The difference is men have been allowed to exercise their ego and pride. I'm just going to be real with you. In the same way that when we say men shouldn't cry, now we don't overtly say it, but when you see a man that's sensitive, women too play into this like, oh my god, he's a bit too sensitive. I want to see a man cry at a movie, but anything beyond that, oh my god, he's too sensitive. He's no longer strong. Because we've bought into the ideas of what patriarchy is built as what a man and a woman is. And this is where I guess the LGBT community kind of play into things in terms of speaking about the gender versus sex and everything. And I don't always agree with the LGBT community, but there are aspects where I do agree with them in terms of how we deal with gender roles and how we deal with how we see the male and the female genders, right? And so when Alexis made that point about the fact Tommy said about let's be women, my first instinct was to say, what, do women not fight? No way. Do women not get aggressive? Do women not feel, away when another woman's challenging them? Of course they do. What does it mean to be more woman-like? When did that even start? That women don't fight. Women have always fought. Women have always fought. They fight in wars. They fight in the boxing ring like us. They fight themselves when they fight over men. They fight over money just like men. Like, there is no real difference in that area. Yeah, biologically we have differences. The way we think sometimes, yes, we have differences, but there are commonalities. So instantly what we've built is this women don't fight. They do. Let's keep it like woman-like. It's like, it was like, if two guys were scrapping, would it have been said? And actually some of the people in the comment section have kind of alluded to that when it said women's business. And that's what I'm saying to you. I'm coming around to the whole thing. And I've actually taken a whole video to talk about inequality rather than actually London and Devyne. But we'll come on to that. Because we're talking about the equality of things going on. When I was talking about the Tommy situation, is that there are languages which is loaded and it brings a preconceived idea and it forces a certain narrative. Because like I said, boys will be boys. Yeah, two guys are scrapping, and then, like I said, when the Shima thing came out, and people were saying it's women's business, and I'm saying to you, how can it be women's business? Two women are not talking to each other. Someone decides, listen, actually, you lot should be talking. You're both adults. Now we should repair the situation. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. There is two people disagreeing, right? Both women, yeah. And they are disagreeing to the point where they're in a social circle, yeah, where there are men and women. A man decides that, listen, do you know what? You two shouldn't really be arguing. Let's patch this up. Now, where I disagreed with Chica was the fact that he overstayed his welcome. Once he introduced them to, let them speak. But he was doing all sorts of kerfuzzles and all sorts of madness, which didn't need to be happening, which I put in my last video when I spoke about this, the very first time I addressed this. He didn't need to do all of that. It was too much. It was too much. Chica, you've done your job, you brought them together, leave it alone now. Yeah? Let them do what they need to do. You get what I'm saying? But bringing people together because they're of a different sex to you now is now women or men's business. If we look at the world that way, we're going to be in a very dire situation. A very dire situation, because then it becomes, well, that's their business then. Because it forms into groups. That's their business. I can't get involved. That's this group's business. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the case. When people are conflicting, regardless of whether you're black, white, brown, a woman, a male, an alien, we don't want to see conflict, so we need to resolve the conflict. And a peacemaker, as Christian Bible calls us, peacemaker doesn't say you're a peacemaker to women only, or you're a peacemaker to males only. But there is a certain aspect of that when you are going into a situation. How do you deal with the aspect? Do you get what I'm saying? So in that regard, when it comes to conflict resolution, there's no women's business and men's business. As a male, if I see two women arguing and I'm in the same business, I'm like, look, yo, chill, man. Like, yo, what's the problem? All right, cool. Look, just like try and talk it out or whatever. Boom. Then I step away because it's got nothing to do with me in the first place. But I'm seeing conflict. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. And I think some people put in the comment section like, you know, two blokes fighting or whatever. And I'm like, two blokes fighting. And if you don't want to get involved, that's up to you if you want to get involved. Do you know what I'm saying? I can understand there's a power difference, and if someone gets punched, I get it. Do you know what I'm saying? But there's still conflict. If it was your man, and your man is doing a madness, fam, of course you're going to try and pull your man away from that being a madness. Do you know what I'm saying? Conflict resolution, right? Because regardless of if you're a female or not, you intervene because it's your man now. Why does it make a difference? And this is what we have these preconceived ideas that we are pushing into our own self of gender and what we can and can't do. We box each other up. Like very quickly, we would be starting to be the generation that will be like, well, only men can be pilots. Only men can be mechanics. Only women are secretaries. How far are we away from that when we start putting women's business and man's business? How far are we away from that? Do you know what I'm saying? So we have to understand that a lot of our language is loaded. So going back to the Tommy original situation, and in fact dealing with a lot of issues when the they were talking about double standards in terms of Aisha.
Comment from Marielle that I was in everybody's face. I was in Brent's face, and then I went to you. That's not everybody.
It is a double standard.
Okay,
and it was a double standard, a big double standard. The big double standard is the fact that how is it that when a woman's being assertive and trying to say, I want this particular thing, which I don't think she was actually being that aggressive. It's just a case that Brent was just being so laid back. Do you know what I'm saying? That it made her look so aggressive. But when I say aggressive in the sense of perception. But, you know, in that aspect, when the men are doing what the women are doing, we don't complain, we don't talk. And just like Aisha said, and the only thing I would say is that with Aisha's case, she did sit on Maria's lap. That was the difference. Whereas I didn't see, I guess, and actually no, let me not even do that because Maria had two connections. So what's that about? Yeah, London had two connections. So what's that about? So why couldn't Aisha have another connection with somebody else? Maria was straddling Reva and still having Tondi on the side. So what was the difference between what Aisha was doing? And then they accused Aisha of just, Mario did it anyway, accused her of being all over the place, yeah? And none of the men spoke up, yeah? None of the men said, oh no, that's not what happened, bro, like, she just was talking to you, bro, like, none of the men spoke up. Why? Because at the end of the day, men don't often do that. Now, Brent felt a certain way when he saw Aisha on Mario's lap, yeah?
ladies, do you all feel that Aisha was unfairly judged about being pushy?
Yes, definitely
Yes.
was.
Absolutely. I feel like the hypocrisy is real because I feel like all of us were trying to get to know each other.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, Brent, you didn't fully commit to Aisha anyway, so you got no qualms. You kind of committed yourself openly because you already said you was watching Alexis from early. You're just waiting for the right time. So to be honest, ain't nobody got a leg to stand on when it came to Aisha, or whether it was Brent, or whether it was Mario, or whether it was London, and it just was. It's just this double standard that we always portray. And that's why I keep saying that also women have to also take responsibility, because when it comes to patriarchy, yeah, and you're benefiting from some of it, and you want it to be, oh, I'm a woman, then you can't expect that the men also are not going to take some benefit of the patriarchy. Either dead it or keep it. You can't have both. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't skim off it and then be like, no, I don't want it no more. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, understanding that there was a lot of double standards in there as well. And I just think to myself, you know, just looking at the situation where even when they were talking about the cheating and the black men don't cheat, again, loaded language, because black men don't cheat. Well, one, they do, and two, I get the idea of black men don't cheat, but without a nuance on a conversation which is not really in depth, we don't really understand it, because what it does actually is, again, doesn't allow for the correct conversation of truthfulness to come through, right? It creates this false entity, which is that black men don't cheat. Well, not all black men cheat. We know this. We really know that. Black men cheat. Yes, they do. A lot of them do. And when we say a lot, everybody knows a black man who's black, yeah, and probably could count on their hand, out of 5, how many of them have been faithful? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not trying to even body us, because it's white man, it's green man, it's blue man, it's yellow man, whatever color man is there, they all cheat. It's in men, yeah? And this is what I'm saying, that when it comes to gender equality, you can't have it without discussing certain things. Men are entitled, based upon the patriarchal system that we have at the moment, which puts them in the power front. And they take advantage of that. We need to be able to address the fact that there needs to be a really in-depth conversation in terms of, yes, black men do cheat. Now, how are we going to go from here in terms of educating these men, or talking to these men to make them understand that your behaviors are incoherent with what a healthy relationship needs to be? Because when they asked who had cheated, it was men that were raising their hands.
Hands. Men, if you've cheated on a woman, raise your hand.
Oh, y'all lying.
Tell the truth.
Come on.
Tell the truth.
I've cheated once. I've cheated once. Okay.
That's because I commit.
Cheated once.
We got
That's
2.
it?
I mean, yeah,
cheated
my
once.
younger days, yeah.
Okay.
Out of a cast of how many men rose their hands? Point proven. So black men do cheat. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that we can't energize that. And I have a laugh and I have a banter with it on Twitter as well about black men don't cheat. I love it. Do you know what I mean? Because we don't. But we have to be honest and frank and discuss that in truthfulness. So yeah, guys, there is a lot of double standards in there. You may disagree. I want you to comment down below. Please, let's keep it as well. Like, one of the things I don't really like, I've noticed as well. One, guys, let's comment like let's comment like you would talk to the person face to face. Because a lot of comments that we have, not just even towards myself, but towards even some of the cast members of Red to Love, there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, you would have said to the person's face, man. So like, let's chill on that. Don't use the comment section as a keyboard warrior stuff. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna comment on this stuff, you may be angry, you may be a bit pissed off, or some of the things they're doing, but let's comment in a respectful manner. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's comment like you'd be proud of what you're commenting. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you don't like what they're saying, be constructive with what you don't like, and let the person know. This is not a personal vendetta shooting at somebody. Do you know what I'm saying? Let the person know in a more sensible manner, so that we can have actually a defined conversation where we're actually learning from one another, and actually building off one another as well. So yeah, guys, I expect there to be different opinions in the comment section. It's going to be wild, I'm sure. We'd love to hear your side of things. Maybe I've got some things wrong as well, and I don't mind. I would love for people to also correct me as well, because I don't know everything about the female. I don't know anything about the female side of things like that. I know what I know. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know everything, but I have a majority female audience. Let me know how it is for you guys, because even when it comes to dating, I know the inequality that comes with it. So yeah, I've mentioned quite a few things in that as well, and I just want to just reiterate. I didn't agree with everything that Alexis said in that Instagram post, but there were some things that I understood what she was saying in regards to the fact that loaded language. That's what I understood. But yeah, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts and your feelings down below.